Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So we are walking into the interest rates today. Man, this should be a very exciting day here today. This will be a very exciting day here today. We're going to see some fireworks in GBJPY. GBJPY has been in the same range as it was last night. It hasn't really broken out of that range. So I think with the interest rates coming on, we're going to see a big break. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look here again. Alright, let's just redefine this area over here. Redefine this resistance maybe right over here. We're forming a resistance at this point, and then we're forming a support down at this point here. Perfect. Currently what we're looking at is prices in the range, and this is a pretty big range. This is 31 pip range, right? 31 pip range. So what I want to kind of see is that let's say we break above 135 960, 135 950, then I guess we have a much cleaner range going up towards 136 200. I think 136 200 could be a pretty good area where price can come up to. Yeah, 136 200. And then if we break down, we have a clean move going down to, let's say from here, if we can drop down to 135 400 and even further down. Let's see here. Yeah, from here we can drop down to our daily support, which will be around, okay, so you look on the 4 hour, I think 135 400 would be a pretty good area down over here where price can come down to. So we're going to keep that in mind. Let's go back. Yeah, let's just wait and see. We got around 25 minutes left, so we shall wait and see how this basically moves. Remember, with the hard Brexit, no deal, this could be sub 100. Not sure what that means, but we're going to wait and see. Looking at this, they're keeping the rates the same. The main thing is going to be these votes, right? And I think if they keep these votes the same as well, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm expecting, like, if they're keeping the rates the same, I'm expecting a move above, 135, 950, 960, and for price to continue moving bullish. That's what I'm anticipating. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Gold also came down to a support. It's a very strong support here on the 4 hour and on the daily. Now the question is, will gold break the support and continue moving down? That's what the question is, because the 1 hour candle is obviously it's bearish, right? If you look on the 1 hour candle, we're creating a resistance at this point for price to continue moving bearish. So I guess if we can see some sort of resistance forming in this area, then we could say, okay, you know what, price is going to continue down to retest the low, which is like around 47 pips. It's pretty big. Hey Raja, please, I want to confirm how long the magic keys get to me. I'm in UAE if I order one. Well, if it can take a week and a half, it can take a month, because we have the virus thing going on. So shipment, but at the same time you're going to get your tracking numbers too, so it's not going to be a problem. So you'll be able to track it. Does pound have any correlation with the euro? No, not at all. Like when you're coming to the New York session and you're looking at let's say EUR/JPY, EUR/JPY will have no correlation with GBJPY. The only reason is because the EUR/JPY is moved by the euro, and GBJPY is moved by the pound. Ooh, it's too bright. All right, let's take a look at EUR/JPY. EUR/JPY on the daily is coming bearish. So whenever something's falling like this bearish, you always look to see that, okay, if it's coming bearish, where can it come down to? So maybe this is going to be some sort of a support where price can come down to. Now it came bearish, so obviously it came bearish from some sort of resistance, right? So now we got to identify that resistance. Maybe that resistance was somewhere over here because you see candles were bullish, start to turn bearish, so maybe that was a resistance. We can also see that it broke some sort of a support at this point. So now we're going to drop down to the 4-hour time frame. And looking at the 4-hour, we see that maybe price is creating a support at this point on the 4-hour. And now if price is creating a support on the 4-hour time frame, it should continue on towards a resistance on a smaller time frame, right? Let's say on the 1-hour time frame. So if we go down to the 1-hour, and what we see is that maybe it's creating a support right here on the 1-hour. We're creating a resistance on the 1-hour right over here. So if we break above this range, above let's say 123,650, I think there's a pretty good chance price can come up towards 123,900 and then continue on up above towards 124,070. I think that could be a pretty good intercession level, So you have different levels, right? It's called the intercession level, and then you have the levels called the intraday levels, right? Intercession levels are levels where price can move between sessions. Intraday is like where price can move between the day, So I mainly focus on the intercession levels, like your 20 pip ranges, 35 pip ranges, 30 pip ranges, things like that. Are you going to trade sell stops and buy stops today for news? Yeah, we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. It's still got around 21 minutes left for the news, so we're going to see. Might use a buy stop above the high of the 30-minute candle, or use a sell stop below the 30-minute candle. So we shall see once the time is right. Other than that, we have no news. 8:30, we have unemployment claims. I guess that's going to move gold a little bit. We're building permits. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, good morning. I took a trade on GJ pre-New York. It was a loss. Managed risk, but can you see what I did wrong? I think it was in the range, but let's take a look over here. Let's take a look at this chart. Entry here after break of previous 30-minute high. Yeah, so this was, since it's first thing in the morning, so we're going to go pretty easy on this one here. Price came up, closed at resistance. Price closed at resistance, and you held the trade even though it closed at resistance and price came down. Obviously, we know that once price reaches resistance, it comes down. I mean, you have your resistance drawn here as well. What went wrong? Do I have the wrong confirmation of the probability just wasn't there? Price goes down, close 50%, finally close full before hitting stop loss. Yeah, so basically, price is at resistance, baby, right here. So this is where people go wrong, right? So basically, your take profit was above resistance, which makes no sense at all. Even though at when there's news and before news, price is just gonna consolidate pretty much. So that's why. If this candle breaks the high of the previous candle, would you enter or be skeptical because there's news? Obviously, I'm going to be skeptical because there's news. Whenever there's news and you're trying to enter a trade before news, just understand this, that you're destined to lose that trade. You're destined to lose a trade if you're trying to enter a trade before news. Price trend to range before news? Yes. That's why it's better to wait. Let's take a look at the Chinese indicator over here. The Chinese indicator is saying everything is ranging. Everything is ranging. It's saying GJ is ranging, GU should ranging, GP CAD is ranging, Everything is ranging. So this will be interesting over here. Hey, could you take a look at this, please? And thank you. All right.
Hey, good morning.
Let's take a look. Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Matt.
Oh, what's this over here? This is GJ, 1 hour chart. Positive news, clean traffic to the left to mimic. Might push to the next resistance. It's pretty good, pretty good. Negative results would break through minor support to the left. Yeah, this makes sense. Um, what I'm expecting is, now since price is in the middle of this range, can't really take a trade over here. Might want to put a buy stop at like 135,970 for price to continue up towards 136,200. Or for a sell stop, probably gonna wait. Yeah, because since we're in the middle of this range here, we'll have to wait. Even looking at the 4 hour, 4 hour looks like, I mean, if the 4 hour rejects 135,700, then price should continue moving bullish towards 136,200. That's the whole idea. So we're gonna see where we break off to. Should be pretty interesting. These streams are awesome. It's like an event in my day that I look forward to every day, better than the Super Bowl. Oh, nice, man. Thank you. Better than the Super Bowl.
Yeah, DJ has been really hard to trade on these past 2 days. I
Yeah.
actually took one entry like around 5:30 a.m.
Oh, nice. She took a buy over here.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's that those wicks, man, they're like 40 pips now.
Yeah.
Remember when they were like 40 pips not that long ago?
Yeah. Yeah, they are. If news is so important, wouldn't it just shoot price and we'll miss the opportunity to take the trade like NFP? Yes, that could happen too. So whenever there's news, understand this, news is extremely risky. What can happen with news is now news is very volatile, right? So what happens is that volatility basically means so now normally when price trends bullish, right? It makes higher highs, higher lows, things are really easy. But when there's news, there's a very high probability there's going to be volatility. And what that means is that the candle can break the high, move up, come down, break the low, and move down. That can also happen. So if you have a buy stop above, like, let's say the 30-minute candle or the 1 hour candle, just because it seems like a good idea, also understand this, that there is a probability that price will come up, activate your buy stop, and take you in a loss like instantly. So if you're looking for one trade a day, and if that's the trade you're going to focus on, then you also have to acknowledge the fact that that situation can also happen. It's not just going to be one straight move up. It can also like come up, activate it, and come back down. So that's why trading news is extremely risky. News is extremely volatile. Normally it's a good practice to wait for about like 15 minutes after the news or 30 minutes after the news, so that the first 15-minute news candle or the first 30-minute news candle, you wait for it to close, you wait for it to relax, and then you kind of see, okay, where we're going to go. Because if this is a big range, we're going to break out of this range, and either we're coming up or we're moving down. But we don't know where price is going to go because there's news here. Hey, I live in San Diego, so these live streams are at 3:30 for me, and oh wow, man, wow, that's pretty good. At 3:30 a.m., that's dedication over there. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is now coming up here. We have a strong resistance on gold at this point. 135,600 sell stop. 135,600. Yeah, not sure. Not sure yet, mate. Still got some time left here. Why don't you have news indicators on your charts? I don't know what they are, news indicators. Hey, Texas Ranger took an entry at 30-minute time frame, close 50%. Oh, let's take a look at this. We got a cowboy over here. We got a UJ 4-hour chart coming down. Let's take a look here. UJ 4-hour chart. Okay, looks good for a sell. So you got a support over here and price broke down. So you took a sell somewhere in this area. Um, let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour is also ranging right now. We're creating like a minor support. Let's take a look on the 30 minute. 30 minute is basically just ranging. So now this is your range on USDJPY. So basically for your cells to I think if you keep your cells open this way, I think you're going to be in the cells and not get stopped out, and price just may just keep ranging because this is a 8 pip range, pretty small, you know. So if you see a break below, if this candle breaks below these candles to the left, I think you have a move coming down, especially with bad news on the dollar later on. So that could push price down, downtown. What price will be this stream cost per month? You should charge this to kick out gulaggers. $50 a month minimum. Oh, you know how many people are going to start crying over $50 a month? A lot of people are going to start crying. We proposed around $15 a month and people started crying. So there's going to be rivers there's going to be rivers of tears here flown if that happens.
And then they're gonna start changing login infos.
Yeah.
Sharing them.
But I guess what's going to happen, it's really going to filter out, it's going to filter out the trolls.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, it's going to filter out the trolls. Someone said we pay you by ads. No, Mr. Elm, you pay nothing for these streams. These streams are completely free. YouTube puts ads because YouTube sees this as value. You know, YouTube sees this as we have like 3,000 people coming in every day, so YouTube wants to make money. That's why they say, okay, you know what, we're going to put ads on these guys over here. And I'm like, okay, YouTube, that's perfect. Let's do that.
Right, but it doesn't mean that they have to buy whatever they're putting up there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. This candle closed above the recent resistance. Okay, right here. After price retraced down and come up breaking the high of previous candle, I take an impulse entry. I think this is a wrong example of an impulse entry. Edric, if you look at the webinar we did this Saturday on impulse entries, this is a very wrong example of an impulse entry, mate. So you would have needed a retest, like a candle to create support. Do you think this trade is a good trade? I think it was a bad trade. Let's take a look at this EU here. EU, price respect to previous resistance zone. Entry on the 30-minute bearish candle right over here. Stop loss above the previous candle. I think it's pretty good. Price came down over here. I think this is where you should have been looking at, like if you want to manage your risk over here or not, because the candle closed with no wick at the bottom. What's the biggest lot? What's the biggest lot size with leverage of 1 to 500? Alejandro, this is a question that may be asked in the Gulag because, I mean, it depends what balance you have, right? I mean, on a 500 balance with a 500 leverage, this is going to be different lot size. If you have a 10,000 account, different lot size, $100,000 account, different lot size. So it depends. Yeah, it depends on the account balance. 14,000, I'm not sure. I mean, you can try entering 20 lot and see if that works, you know, but I'm not sure what's going to be the biggest lot size.
You use that app called Stino, right? Stein.
The what?
That app. It's called Stino.
Oh, Stinu.
Stinu, yeah, Stinu.
Yeah, Stinu. Right, we got 8 minutes here. What do you think about this GU idea? Let's take a look here. Can you use Hugo's way? Yes, you can use Hugo's way. Taking longs as this candle creating support. I think that's a bad idea. I think if you're also thinking that maybe positive news is going to push price above this resistance, and let's say you're going to have your stop loss down over here, then yeah, that makes sense too. But I would say wait for a break above this area here for price to continue going up. Is it not a big stop loss for the buy? Yeah, I think if price does break above here, stop is going to be probably like 15 to 17 pips. So probably going to be reducing my lot size, but I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to decide when there's like 2 minutes left. That's what I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. Haven't really made a decision yet. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is, ooh, so much information over here, over here, over here. Buy stop, looking to secure some positions over here. So what's happening at this point here? See, all this information here, it's unnecessary, this information. The only information that's necessary is this, what's happening right over here. All this information here, it's unnecessary. So yeah, I think it was good. You got 24 pips. Pretty good, I'd say. What if the 130-minute candle didn't hit your partial profit target? Do you continue to hold for maybe another 15 to 30-minute candles? If the first 30-minute candle didn't hit your profit target, then basically you're just managing the trade at that point, right? You're managing to see that, okay, if the next one will do it, where your stop loss is going to be, how's the candle structure forming on the 15-minute time frame? Is the 15-minute candles closing bearish? Are they closing bullish? Are they closing in your direction or against you? So there are a lot of those things you're looking at.
So, Mr. Raja,
Hey, Kervin.
what's your take for GBP today? It's gonna be fun, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun time here, man.
Yeah, man. I'm looking for buys, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm looking for. See now, this candle is coming up. It's gonna close soon, right? If it closes bullish, I may be looking for a buy stop at 135,960, having the stop loss below this current 30-minute candle.
Yeah, sounds me.
So we'll have to wait and see. Prepare your fingers to hit that button, everybody.
Yeah.
Start
Trust me, man.
exercising their fingers now. Someone in the gulag said, start preparing your fingers. How many pips move are you anticipating? Man, to be honest, this can move like 100 pips. This can move 50 pips, 40 pips. This can just move 4 pips. Who knows? No one knows.
6 days of range. You tell me what we're thinking.
It's gonna be a massive move, trust me.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, looking at the daily candle has broken the low. It hasn't broken the high. So if there's going to be a lot of volume coming in, the volume should push daily candle bearish. Based on the fact that if this daily candle is going to be the volume candle, because it has respected the high, it hasn't respected the previous low. But looking on the
Yep.
but looking on the 4 hour is just
This support.
yeah, exactly.
But with volume, we break supports and resistances, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
1 hour candle is going bearish. 30-minute candle is going bearish. Yeah, it's pretty tricky.
Tricky,
Oh,
tricky.
there you are.
Would it be good to take an entry right now? An entry right now?
Yeah, Mac, you can do whatever you want, bro.
Yeah,
You can take
Come
an
on,
entry.
Matt. What the hell? What are you saying, bro?
We're gonna send Mac in the mute gulag here soon.
he loves it. Okay, here comes the
Because I didn't hear anybody
pullback.
saying it, so I just had to, throw it
Wow,
out there.
this is crazy.
Oh
Look,
my
this
god,
is before the
this is
news is
so
coming straight
beautiful.
down.
No, this pullback was expected.
See, if it pulls back, that's good. If it
Yes.
pulls back. If it pulls back, that can have a buy stop above this candle and a sell stop below this candle.
Yep. Okay, Mac, go for it.
$135,960 is where I have placed my buy stop. 135,960 is my buy stop right there.
So,
Yeah, 135,960.
That's why.
Sell stop is pretty difficult because this thing is already moving down.
Mm-hmm.
Just needed to retrace. If it retraces before the news, I'm gonna put sell stop at 135,640. Perfect. 135 dot.
just want to make sure the magic keys is working perfectly fine.
Perfect. Got the buy stop at 135,960, sell stop at 135,640. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving.
And here we go. 4 buys.
Wow, look at that spread.
Yeah, the spread is widening over here now.
4 or 5 pips, 6 pips.
6.
It's nice. Everything is good.
Oh. Oh,
Down, up.
It's
nothing.
Nada. Close.
Nothing.
it's coming up.
Oh.
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Will it activate
go,
the buy
baby.
stop? No,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, we will.
No, nothing.
Yeah, I will.
Ooh.
Yeah, I will.
Nothing at
Trust.
all.
This pullback was expected. Now we're heading toward 136,400 and so on.
Nothing. So I removed my sell stop. Yeah, I removed my sell stop. Basically,
Okay, GJ, come on.
basically nothing
do it.
happened.
Let's do it for the gram, GJ. Come on, baby.
Everything expected according to Kervin. Someone's trolling you in the gulag, man.
Yeah. No, you know that I was London this morning and I
Yeah.
was with Eleanor. So yeah, this pullback was expected to retest those lows, respect support, and we're gonna hopefully we're gonna be heading toward 136,400.
Yeah, nothing, man. Nothing
Yeah,
happened.
We just need to break 136 flat. It's acting as a heavy resistance so far.
Yeah, nothing happens. So probably gonna wait for this candle to close, the 15-minute candle or the 30-minute candle. Oh, people are complaining about their buy stops getting activated. Well, I mean, shouldn't really be sad about it. You know, like if you think buy stop got activated early, all you had to do was to close the buy stop, you know, or to close the position if you think it got activated early. It's just that simple. You know, so whenever using buy stops or sell stops, understand this, that that's also a trade. That's a trade idea. So if you're going to be taking one trade and you're doing that one trade on a buy stop or a sell stop and that trade is getting activated, that's your trade for the day. Your trade's done at that point. You know, at that point you got to say, okay, you know what? My trade is done. That's it. So now if you try to take a second trade, that's going to be all on you. You know, so that's why I say, listen, if you're going to copy trades, just, you know, maybe use less risk. Maybe use 10% of your normal risk. You know, buy stops, sell stops are risky. Sometimes they get activated with news, so use less risk. So if you use your regular risk, I think we all learned the lesson over here. Ooh, looks like it's gonna break this and go down at this point. Looks like we're coming down. Dropping straight down to, I guess it's going to come down to 135,400 over here. We'll
My
go
bad,
further
was on
down.
mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean nothing at all at this point. Just going to wait for this candle to close, then probably going to wait for some sort of a retracement to take a sell. Oh Jesus, look at that thing go.
Yep.
Looks like we were right based on the daily time frame.
Yeah. Got that thing.
Yeah, on the daily time frame we were right. Didn't break the high, we broke the low before, we were retracing, so volume did indeed push it bearish. Should have kept the sell stop.
Yeah.
Because now when you look back on the 30-minute, the 30-minute candle, like the entire idea about the buy stop at like, you know, at that price was that if the 30-minute candle breaks the high, then the buy stop is going to get activated and then we can continue moving down. The idea about sell stop was that the sell stop was below the low of the previous candle, that if it broke the low, we can continue moving down. So I guess it didn't really break the low as the news came in, and it didn't really break the high here as well.
Yeah.
So in essence, it was still pretty okay because it just broke the low and respected the high. This is awesome. So now we can just, you know, retrace later on and then we can take a sell for continuation. Perfect. So we can just wait at this point. That's the only
Yep.
thing we can.
Retest.
I'm pretty sure Mac is in it, right?
Yeah,
No?
no, I got sales. Yeah,
Yeah. Me too.
I said it. I was on sales. What's so funny, bro? I can't
Because
say
I
anything.
know you. I know you.
I did have a buy stop, but I closed it.
Okay. Yeah, can you prove it?
Yeah, I can prove it. So the plan is just for it to go back again to that range and then just drop again.
Mm.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to expect here too.
Bing, bing, bong, bong. I will get coffee. Be right back.
Let's take a look at gold. Gold is still ranging. UJ is still in there. G just dropping nice down. Let's take a look at this chart here. This is looking for a retest. Price broke support. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at the same thing over here for price to kind of like do a little bit of a retest and then continue on. See the thing is, what's good about this is that price hasn't really broken out of the range since the 10th September. You know, we've been in this range. So if we've been in this range for a long time, we know we're going to continue moving down. And I guess it's going to be a pretty good idea to wait for some sort of pullbacks, maybe on the 15-minute time frame, to continue on the sells later on with New York Open. So I think that's going to be a pretty good environment for sells here. Just need some sort of retracements and then we can continue down. Can you explain what you mean price make a low, it will retest the low again? So basically what's happening right now is that since I'm not in this trade, you know, there's no FOMO. I mean, I anticipated this move up, but you know, remove the sell stop, so price is coming down, right? So price is moving down. Right now it's creating a low. You know, so whenever price is falling or whenever price is moving up, it's making a low or it's making a high. So if it's moving down, I know for a fact that, okay, there's going to be some sort of a retracement coming in, maybe on the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame, but there's going to be some sort of a retracement. And at that retracement, once that retracement happens, we're going to have a continuation move down. So that's what I'm waiting for. Like, it's only 8 minutes within the hour, so I guess it's going to be a pretty good idea to wait for price to do a little bit of a pullback so that we can continue the move down. Can this move get corrected since the rate stayed the same? Yes, that can also happen. You know, that can also happen. So let's take a look here. So everything remained the same. Each and every little thing remained the same. Votes remained the same. Purchase facility remained the same. So yeah, that can happen as well. Let's see if the sell stop was at 135,640. Oh wow, this would have been a 60 pip move over here. Crazy. Let's take a look on the weekly. Weekly is also continuing bearish here. I think Ted was talking about this before, how the weekly candle should continue bearish. I think with this 30-minute daily made sense as well. After today, sell stops are my favorite. Well, whoever got these sells, amazing. You know, you had a very good payday if you got these sells. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is GJ. I think I'm missing something here. Yeah, I think I'm missing something here. What do you think important? What do you think important news and trade UK 100? I don't think nothing about UK 100. Absolutely nothing. Wow, man. So they kept the rates the same and prices moving down. This is a fundamental move down. I mean, if they kept the same, that should be good for the pound, right? Because the news came the same, but it's coming down. So we'll have to see how this 30-minute candle closes, how this 15-minute candle closes.
Yeah.
So we can, yeah. Let's take a look at this chart here on Euro USD. Overall, price is in a downtrend. Price made a low, retraced for forming resistance. Okay, pulled back down and the resistance, but closed with no wick at the bottom, so no sells. Oh, sell taken on the close of this candle. Expected price to retest the low and close 50%. Low broken on a second 15-minute candle, rejected and tried to go up. Yeah, I guess it's ranging at this point. Also, I think if a sell was taken over here, and obviously the support was down over here, was this enough range for the sell? That's the question I want to ask. Because if this is 964 and coming down to this area, I don't think there was enough range. This was like maybe 15 pip range. Yeah, I don't think there was enough range over here. Overall market is bearish, no change to fundamentals confirms that. Yes, overall we're still bearish over here now. Well, I guess if it's bearish, and if you're looking at it fundamentally, I mean, places are going back in lockdown, you know? Places are going back in lockdown. So if places are going back in lockdown, I think we should continue moving bearish. You know, so we'll have to wait and see. The market has been dropping already, so big news already priced in, maybe as Japan minister stepped down and UK shipped not much worse than last week. GJ should continue moving down. Yes. I think USDJPY is also creating that structure to move bearish for about 4 or 5 pips. Because that's how much UJ moves, right? So if
That's a heavy move.
Yeah.
4 pips, yeah.
Like next support is down over here, which looks like it is 15 pips away on the 4-hour range. It's a pretty big move, 15 pips, look at that.
Yeah.
From here to down here, 15 pips. Let's take a look at this GJ. At lower time frame, if resistance is broken, yellow line, I think sell stop will be good. It will likely to resume its downside, clean traffic on the left hand side. Yeah, see, since now you're looking at it on the daily perspective, on the smaller time frames, price may retrace a little bit, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Like, trust me, I want to see these sells as well, and I'm just waiting to see it. Now this 15-minute candle has closed, and I'm just waiting to see if we're going to create some sort of a pullback here in the 15-minute time frame, and then potentially take a trade based on the next 15-minute candle coming down, or the 30 minutes. So I'll have to wait for this 30-minute candle to close, basically. Do you think it will retrace first and then go down? Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the best thing for it to do, kind of like retrace and then continue on down. I made 3% on my sell. I'm done for the week. Could have made 7% if I held the move, but I'm happy. I'm also happy for you. Is it reasonable? Listen, if someone's holding buys from up over here, man, you need to just stop. Just stop. I know someone's holding buys. Just let it go. It's going to be very difficult. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is a 27 pip consolidation, clean range, wick to fill, strong bearish trend, clean breakout. So, open was over here. Open a sell over here. Yeah, I think opening a sell down here was a pretty bad idea. Really, really bad idea. You should have waited for some sort of a retracement, some sort of a minor resistance to be formed for a sell. I mean, this is something we also talked about in the Impulse Entries webinar there, that once price is coming down, don't sell the low. This is the same thing as selling right over here, anticipating price to move down. It just doesn't work. You have to wait for price to create some sort of a resistance and then take a sell. So I think there was a patience problem in that trade over here. Should have waited for price to, create some sort of a resistance. And Kush, bro, I think your spread is 4 pips. You really need to look at someone with a lower spread, like 2 pip spread. 2 pip spread is way better than a 4 pip spread. Because imagine this, right? If, let's say someone has a 5 pip spread. If someone has a 5 pip spread and I have a 2 pip spread, and if we're taking the same trade, you're paying 5 pips to take that trade, and I'm paying 2 pips to take that trade. So there's a huge difference in spread over there. What's this? I had a sell on GJ. I didn't place any buy stops, sell stops, wanted to wait for price to come down a bit and hit sells once we broke 136.550. Okay, very risky. Stop loss was 10 pips, expecting price to go down. Oh man, pretty good. Very good trade. Also made it down. Trader's domain is like 14 pips. Trophy therapy, I think you need to get some mental therapy done, because trader's domain spread is not 14 pips. I can guarantee you that right now. Let me take a look over here. It's 14 points.
That's 1.4 pips.
14 micros.
See, this is how rumors start, man.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Go to babypips.com.
This is how rumors start.
14 pips.
Yeah, you need some education over there. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's 13 points, 1.3 pips.
Yeah.
You got any questions? Support at thetradersdomain.com.
Yeah, I go to tradersdomain.com. Oh, you're alive. Finally.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock over here.
This is my GJ analysis. Why I missed the sell stop. Give me your feedback on it. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. This was a support. Okay. Is the Asian session and price has been ranging. This 1 hour candlestick closed below the support. I think you meant resistance. You know what really grinds my gears? When people can't get their support resistance right. If they're looking at support, they'll write resistance. If they're looking at resistance, they'll write support. That really, really makes me a little bit angry, because man, listen, you're here in a live stream, you're sending a chart, and then around 3,000 people are going to be listening and seeing that chart. And when you mess up on support or resistance, just imagine how embarrassing that's going to be. When you say, oh, I forgot, oh, I did this. No, you don't have to forget. You don't have to do this. You have to get things right. If you can't get this right, then maybe don't send the chart. Because there's a lot of people watching, and I don't know. I would never mess up on something like that. If I knew there were thousands of people watching me, I'd be very careful. But I guess that's me. But then again, that chart came from the gulag, so what can you expect, right? Let's take a look at this next one. A New York low rejected. This is my trade here, swing daily low. Yeah, I think what I'm looking for is probably, even if this 15-minute candle closes bullish, and if the next one starts breaking the low, then I'm going to enter the sell for price to continue on moving down. I think if we move down, I think there's a very high probability we can come down towards 134,600, like 40 more pips. That's a lot to ask for from GJ, but I think that can be done. Don't really want to execute based on a 5-minute here if it breaks the low, because 5-minute is weak confirmation, but that can still happen. So I'm going to wait for the 15-minute here. Why this 60 pips move? Please explain. Why did GJ move 60 pips?
Oh man, oh man.
Oh man, oh man. Right? I'm like, man. Like if someone says it was the news, someone will say, "Oh, why, why was it the news?" Will you execute the sells? No, no. I'm waiting for specific things. I'm waiting for a retracement on the 15-minute or the 30-minute to execute sells. If I don't get that, then there's going to be no trade here for me today. If I get that, I get that. If I don't, then I don't, right? What can you do? How important are technical analysis like Fibonacci or Elliott waves for a beginner trader? I think for a beginner trader, you should focus on price action. You should really focus on price action first, and once you get a good hand on price action, then you should move on towards your technicals. Like, well, price action is mainly all technicals, right? And then you should move on to your indicators. Ooh, gold is coming up to this resistance here. UJ is continuing bearish in this 15 pip range. Kervin is scratching his head thinking, oh, mamma mia, when will it continue
No, I
dropping?
was looking at UJ. It was like, yeah, 5 pips or so.
Yeah. This was actually a pretty good trade because your stop was like 9 pips. Should have been up like 10, 12, easy.
You know what's funny, because looking at UJ, man, and you know, long time ago I should have taken this trade, but now I don't like taking trades for 5 pips and lasting 30 minutes or 5 pips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my baby, USDJPY.
All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is... Ooh, wrong chart coming from Zoom. Come on. Didn't really expect that. Mr. Creams sent the wrong chart. See, on the 5-minute, we did break the low, but we didn't continue down because 5-minute is a weak confirmation time frame. Whoever executed on the 5-minute, you learned a lesson that it's a weak confirmation time frame. So I just gotta wait. I'm waiting for the 15-minute candle to close, waiting for the 30-minute candle to close. Got 5 minutes left. Are you looking for a buy? No, I'm not looking for a buy. I'm looking for a continuation sell. But at the same time, I'm not disregarding this area as support over here too, because Kervin, look, this is a 4-hour support, right? Very strong support, 4-hour support. Price rejected this once, twice, then again rejected it here. We're coming down to the same area over here. The only thing I'm worried about is that if we form a support, instead of doing a retest, it may correct this move because the news was the same.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Do you use MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5? I use MetaTrader 5. In your opinion, for beginners, what is the best time frame for trading? I think the 30-minute and the 1 hour are pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at this chart again. Let's try it again. Oh, still the same. Still the same chart, Mr. Cream. So what you got to do is you got to press this camera button and then copy this link in Zoom. Since you are in Zoom, so you can just paste this link. People who are in Gulag, you can't do that. Blackboard Markets doesn't have MetaTrader 5. Okay, let's take a look over here. blackbullmarkets.com. I guess that's the website, right? Black Bull Markets. I think that's the best way. Platforms, MetaTrader 5. So you're wrong, Gulag. Gulag is wrong once again. It says MetaTrader 5 right here, man. Come on, come on. Let's go ahead. Platforms. Oh, it's coming soon. Okay. Well, at least it's coming soon. So that's good. All right, I'm gonna be right back. We still got around 2.5 minutes left. Where's the music? Music is gone? Okay. Yeah. So I'm not taking a trade right now, nothing. I'm waiting for like a pullback or something like that to take a trade. Because if I'm going to take one trade, I want it to be a good trade, right? Even though if I think price is going to drop down and I want to take a sell over here and my stop is going to be like around like, 14, 15 pips. And if I lose this trade, then I'm going to say, man, I shouldn't have taken the sell, right? Like at the bottom over here while candles were printing bearish and not doing a retest. So if I'm going to take a trade, I'm going to take a really perfect looking trade. And I think that's going to come in about like, an hour and a half or something like that. Yeah, because like here's the thing, right? Here's my whole mindset behind taking a trade. When I'm taking a trade, it has to be in a way where I can explain it really easily to people. That's like my whole psychology behind taking trades. So I'm gonna wait for something really, really simple and then I'm gonna execute. Because if then someone asks me, hey, listen, I mean, how'd you take this trade? So it's going to be easy for me to, like, for them to understand. So something that I'm looking at is that, okay, we came down, right? We dropped below the support. This was a 55, 56 pip drop. So essentially, if we create a support down over here, this is still going to be like in a 61 pip range, right? It's going to be 61 pip range. And if we form a support at this point, what I'm thinking is maybe there could be an opportunity to take a buy, because if price is going to retrace to create like a minor resistance to continue down, man, this is a pretty big range. This is a 60 pip range. So even if price creates a support and starts to retrace, I don't think that retracement should be less than at least like, 30, 35 pips. You know what I'm saying? You understand? So that's something that's going through my mind right now. So basically, I'm just waiting for this 15-minute candle to close here, or maybe for like candles to create some sort of a structure. What's this? GJ bias was bearish due to high time frame. Took sells based on the 15-minute. Since 30-minute close happened before we were on the live stream. Impulse on 15-minute risky, so I took 2.5 positions. Oh, close 50%. Of one of the positions entered due to this wick. Okay, so what happened? Like, were you still in the trade on one of the positions? What's this? Taking buys if it shows more rejection here, 2 15-minute candles at least. Anticipating the pullback to where it broke. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. There's probably some waiting over here. Do you think streaming and mentoring makes you taking better trades because you want to show the best value you can to the public opinion? In the start, it kind of did, but then slowly, I mean, I think it's a habit, So we've been doing the live streams like for the past 2 years, and for the past 2 years, I've been only focused on specific trades, specific setups. And since I've been focused on those little things for the past 2 years, I think it just becomes a habit. Then you really want to look for something clean, something easy. Because at this point, I really don't want to enter a trade where now my mind starts thinking that, oh, okay, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Because if I take a sell since price is falling down, I'm not sure whether this candle is going to close bullish or it's going to close bearish. Because if I'm in a sell and the candle closes bullish, then I'm going to say, oh, you know what, man, this was a dumb trade because should have waited for the candle to close. Maybe it's going to do a retest, should have waited. But since you're waiting, if you're waiting for the candle to close bullish, and if you're waiting for some sort of a resistance formed, then you know that you're going to wait for the next, maybe an hour. maybe like another, like, two 15-minute candles or two 30-minute candles, whatever the case is, because you'll have to wait for price to probably retrace and then form like a resistance for you to take a sell to come down over here. And that's it. And what matters is that what do you do when you're waiting, like while you're waiting, while you have that time to wait? How are you, like, what are you doing in that time? Like, are you still looking at the charts? Are you still like actively looking for a trade? Then, so those things you really have to understand. You have to keep them in mind, because sometimes when price is moving like this, it's really like enticing to jump in the trade, jump in the chart, maybe lose a trade here, win a trade here, and then lose two over here, and then win one over here. So it's better to just wait, just relax, do something, go take a walk, drink water. So, like, whenever you're on the charts, you're very, very cautious. You're always cautious. Like looking at gold, right? Breakout looks good, but then if you look left over here, it's approaching some form of, like, where candle is rejected here. So if we see this, that okay, candles rejected here before, and even though gold is bullish, it's coming up, maybe a good idea would be to wait for some sort of a retracement and then take a buy, and then anticipate that, okay, as price starts to come up, if this is a 30-minute time frame, so if you get like after 2-3 candles price come up, you look at the time, you'll be like, okay, you know what, we're moving into NYC open, maybe this makes sense for price to break above here and, like, continue moving up. So GJ, same thing, we had a big volume push down, there's a probability we're going to range here for a little bit, and then maybe later on we could maybe see if there are signs that price is going to move further down, or we're going to start moving up. Do you think, oh, here's my Ian Long. What do you think? Euro, New Zealand, buy. Let's take a look over here. Euro, New Zealand. Once it breaks the 15-minute high, should respect its own low. Yes, I think that's a pretty good idea. That if price breaks above over here, it should continue moving up. I think that's pretty good. Just gotta wait on GBJPY over here now. Let's take a look at EUR/JPY. EUR/JPY is still ranging. We are still in this range on EUR/JPY. There are no buys. I guess looking on the 4 hour, the 4 hour candle is about to close in like an hour here, an hour and a half. So I'm not sure if this is going to pull up or continue breaking down, because if it closes like this, there's a high probability that we may continue moving bearish on EUR/JPY. What if this 15-minute breaks the low again? Should you entry? No, I don't think so. I'm not going to be entry right over there, because if it breaks the low, that means the probability it can come down, but then again, it may pull back to form a wick. So you have to put yourself in a really, really good position to win. And I think a really good position is going to be like if, let's say, we create wicks over here and candles start forming bullish, then we know that, okay, maybe if that happens on the 30-minute or even the 1 hour, then there's a very good probability that price may retrace up. So if someone is looking for sells, they're waiting for a retracement and then a resistance form to go down. So, I'm not in this trade, so I'm basically waiting. Have you thought about a probability calculator? Yeah, you can just do that mental math in your head, basically. Probability calculator. Oh wow, look at that. Still moving bearish over here. We can now come down towards, 134, 600 over here now. This is crazy move. Too bad I'm not in it. This was, 20 pips. We even broke the low over here. Broke the low down 15, 16 pips. Crazy. Super sad for someone who's holding buys, man. That would be just so sad. Imagine someone's in buys over here because of a 5-minute support. Why did the pound fall? Let's see if they released some sort of news over it. So it's monetary policy summary. Okay. How do you manage loss if you enter on the first 15 minutes of the 30-minute candle? How do you manage loss? I think you're placing stops above the 30-minute, and if the 30-minute is pretty big, then you're basically putting them based on the 15-minute. Can you please take a look at this note from June 2020 bank rate release? Release of rates right over here. June, chart from 18th June. And this is the same thing that's happening. Oh, this happened in June. Official bank rate came same, price came up, candle rejecting level, book and bullish. Duty highs at 0.2. Yeah, that's true too. Because I mean, they kept everything the same, so I guess the trend had to continue bearish. Since we were already coming bearish. So rates stayed the same, everything else stayed the same, so there was basically no fundamental change at all, other than the fact that now they're having issues because, I think Boris is not adhering to one of the, they had one of the clauses for Brexit, and he's not adhering to those clauses. I don't know 100%, but what it was that he's saying that if Brexit does happen, we're not going to pay the fine. So that moved pound bearish, and we started ranging. Then I guess they were waiting for the rates to come out, and nothing really changed. So you're right, fundamentally things really haven't changed. How can you join the Zoom calls? Zoom calls are closed. Zoom calls are closed, man.
Gold still going, Raja.
Yeah, gold is still moving on.
Yeah.
Gold is moving on, GJ is moving on, just craziness.
Yeah.
Man, this thing moved. How many pips did this thing move before below that level? 85 pips. 85 pips.
At least we're not in that range anymore.
Yeah, that's one good thing. That's a really good thing. At least we're not in
Yeah.
that range. Not even in the trade, man.
It should definitely keep falling. Falling, falling, falling.
Bank of England sees recovery signs but studies sub-zero rates. See, this is the thing. They're trying to have negative rates like Japan. And that's going to cause a lot of, like, man, that's a huge, huge fundamental change over there. Negative rates. That's crazy. Before negative rates, they'll have to go down to point 0 and then negative. Man, honestly, pound is such a pair that if anyone says something, pound just moves. You know, pound is like a rabbit. Whoever mentions one little small thing, pound says, "Oh, really? Oh, really?" Like this is the pair on crack, basically. You know, you tell it one little small thing, it gets really excited and it starts moving. You're like, okay, let's go. Hey, I was wondering if they're shipping magic keys to Morocco. Yes. Oh no. No, it's closed. They're still blocked. You know, some countries are still blocked. I think 134.400 is a good target for sales if you do create a minor resistance. Yeah, I do agree. See, now here's the thing, you know. So if I look at this chart over here, this is the area where the 15-minute candles had some sort of an issue, right? So if I draw my arrow, so if let's say now as price is dropping, we can only anticipate where price is going to make a low, basically, right? Because it has already dropped this much, so it has to make a low somewhere, and that's what we're basically waiting for. We're not executing on it, right? We're waiting for the low. So if price makes a low over here, and if price comes up, then maybe this is an area where it can create like a minor resistance and then continue down, because it had some sort of an issue over here. So that's something that I'm thinking at the moment. So now I know I'll have to wait. I have to wait a little bit more to take a trade. USD CHF. Let's take a look at USD CHF. Would have loved to see a chart, but since the chart didn't come, we're going to go to the chart. Daily candle is retracing. We're maybe coming into a resistance here. Looking on the 1 hour, this could be an area of rejection here. Yes, I mean if price on the 30-minute, I guess it's just ranging over here now. So it needs to break above this minor resistance. And then you can expect the NY volume for price to continue moving bullish, because there's a lot of issues over here. You know, so if price breaks down, you know that there's a clean range going down to this wick area over here. But as price moves up, you have minor resistance here, over here, over here, you know, so it gets more messy. Sell on 30-minute candle close below this zone. What's this? Euro JPY. I think the levels I have marked for Euro JPY. Oh yeah, I kind of like the same. We're breaking below over here. Looking at the 15-minute. Yeah, the only thing is there's this little minor area on the 15-minute. You know, so you would need the 30-minute candle closing below this area. Leg day today? No, yesterday was leg day. Thank God leg day is done. Yesterday was leg day, and now I can move on to the more important muscles, like back and biceps. It's the back and biceps day today. GJ's candle is also about to close. If this candle closes bullish, then we have a low formed over here. And this is going to be a minor low because this low is going to be formed on the 15-minute. Yeah, on the 15-minute time frame. How much do you bench? I don't bench. I don't do bench presses. I knew that's going to be the first question. Oh, how much do you bench, bro? What's your max bench? How much can you curl, man? Can you take an analysis on UJ, please? Price is about to hit major support. Will it go up? Will price go up? I think when we were looking at USDJPY, oh, look at that. Curvin and Mac.
Yeah.
UJ moved that 15 pips we were talking about.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Spot on.
Took about 45 minutes, but it didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, almost an hour. For real.
Yeah.
15 pipas.
Yeah. Gold also came to this level over here. So someone asked that, is this a good point to buy USDJPY? Maybe they asked it because they are in a buy and they're expecting price to go back up.
Right.
Yeah, that could be a reason too.
Like you're a genie, you know.
They're still holding, so they are hoping you're gonna die. Yeah, man. Bye.
Like, do you think it's gonna happen just to make himself feel better? It's like, yeah.
No, you know what usually happens? Let's say if someone takes a buy at support right over here, great idea, you know, buy support, perfect. They have a stop loss somewhere down over here. Price breaks support, then they're like, oh shit, man, where's the next support? They find the next support, they bring the stop below that support. Like, okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Got the
We're
stop
going
loss
down.
over here.
We're going down.
Yeah. And it breaks the support, and you're like, okay, where's the next support now?
No retest, no nothing. We're going down.
Oh man, people get proper fucked like that. Like, yeah, that used to happen to me all the time too, you know. And then I'd be like, man, why does this market keep going down?
But GJ, yeah, I can understand with GJ, but most players they do, you know, retests.
Yeah.
But GJ, you know, sometimes he doesn't give 3 flying. Shoosh.
I still don't get the concept of people taking a trade when all the candles are going the other direction. Like if all the candles are going down, why am I taking a buy?
Why?
There you have it.
Like, no, from all honesty, my first month trading, all I recognized in my first month trading back in 2015 or, you know, or the early 2015 was, hey, if all the candles are pointing down, I should take a sell to where there would be a level where it looks like the candles change direction. And then if the candles were going up and I couldn't find a point where they would finish, I couldn't find a trade. Like, I always just tried to map out, like I tried to predict where we would go. Like, that was the first thing I always did, was just predict which direction that we were going and where would we finish. Like, if I put myself in the hands of the market, it's like, okay, if I was this big $1 billion institution, where would I want to see price go to? And I would keep looking to the left and saying, okay, that could be a possible point. And I literally played that game every day of my life, like just guessing the price, where is it going to go and why. I can't comprehend the idea of like, oh, this is support now, it's time to buy. Like, GJ, this candle on the 15-minute is bullish. It's time to take a buy. And it's like, but I mean, all my eyes see is this. Like that's all I see. Like, this to me is nothing. Like, this is that guy, you know, like everybody's at the bar like drinking. This is the guy telling you not to drink, and you're like, well, am I going to listen to him, or am I going to listen to all these people that are drinking, have a good time? So I think that's like the easiest thing you can do as a trader. Is the first thing is just play guess the direction and keep doing that. Like forget about where like putting in orders, figuring out lot sizes, figuring out your risk. Just every day play guess the direction. Like where are we gonna go and why are we gonna go there? And do that every day. And you can do that with multiple pairs. You can do that with any pairs you want and just play guess the direction. And especially if you have other things to do throughout the day, close your charts down at 9 or whatever you're done trading, pick 3 pairs, pick a direction and pick a price and then write it down and then come back at like in the afternoon or come back at the end of the market session and see if you're right. And if you're wrong, you can look at why you're wrong. But if you're right, you can take a look and be like, okay, good. My idea or the way that I was thinking was correct. My thought process was correct.
Yeah, you used to do that. I remember.
Mhm.
I remember you used to do that. Because like in the Facebook groups that we had before, we'd get a message, oh, price was there. Oh, look, looks like we were right.
Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with you sitting, marking up a chart or whatever, and then leaving it for the day and then coming back at the end of the day and checking if you're right or you're wrong. Like that's part of the process. I think people think that this is some great test that you can't study for or that you can't have your book open with, and that if you're wrong or your trade is small, that it's incorrect. Like trading is an art form. Like you have so much opportunity with trading. It's an art form. It's subjective. It's what you believe makes sense in your eyes. It's nobody else's. And I think as soon as you release that ego, man, like, trading's super easy.
What's this? Spread took the buy order, stop 14 pips. Yep. That's the way it goes. I guess at the point, you also have to look at that, okay, if it got activated when it shouldn't have been activated, should I close or should I let it open to its stop loss? That happens to me sometimes too, and I just close. I'm just like, okay, you know what? Doesn't look good. I'm probably just gonna close. Would you be able to see this? Let's take a look here. This is a 4-hour chart. I want to see a retest resistance formed in the lower time frame, waiting for the break below. Yeah, I was looking at your JPY over here. Looks like the candle is closing below over here at this point. So I think on the 15-minute, I think once we break the low, I mean, we should continue moving bearish, and then you're really expecting price to cross this minor zone over here since we're moving into volume. So since volume comes in, I think you're expecting this area to break and for price to continue moving bearish. Yeah, you got till 123, 100. This is the testing, trying times for GJ at this point.
Yeah.
Will price break this low and continue falling down, or will we respect this low and do a 25 pip retracement? Is someone's gonna risk $8? No, like 8 pips for 20 pips? Or are we gonna wait for this low to be broken to take sells? Oh, we got someone in the gulag called Mac Raja. That's not a winning combination. Well, you know what? It could be a winning combination.
How come?
Yeah.
A hybrid.
Yeah, because Mac is going to take the trades, which no one would want to take, and then Raja's just going to up the risk a little bit.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and win,
Yeah.
because...
I'll be the guinea pig.
Yeah, because like Mac wins most times now. So now I have to side with Mac.
I'm trying to do an EA, but it's not working out, so I'm just gonna stick back to normal trading.
Yeah, I think you should leave that EA idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is possible area of support, GA 45 pip range. Yeah, I guess if we can see some sort of a candles like, forming support could be a great idea.
Have you looked at the weekly yet, Raja?
On GJ?
GJ, yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. We looked at that and it was like spot on.
Yeah,
Spot on.
it's going down.
Bottom for sales. Yes.
Downtown.
Downtown.
Yeah, because we talked about this on Monday when those candles are forming that top wick.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is now, to be honest, I mean, this daily will probably rip a little bit further back, and then next week you'll get a wick up on the daily and then a drop further down. Because what we talked about yesterday, so this was something that we talked about yesterday is this box over here, right? So we have this box here, and then what we have is this zone over here, right? We made a zone out of this. And you can see that each time we tried to break out, like we grabbed liquidity in the upper parts of this zone. And then now you can see that this wick now is the lowest compared to all the other wicks. But more importantly, we broke out of that box. So there's a good chance that you might find that now we're going to pull up a little bit and then continue further down, because now we've broken out and then you're ending up at this level here. So once again, as a trader, this is something that you could have planned. We talked about this idea yesterday of if we break down, where are we going? So I think now looking at your weekly, 133,700 is a very good target, to be honest.
$133,700. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Will you short Raja? No.
Because you can see we're moving into daily consolidation, but we have a zone right at 133,700 on the daily. So what I was looking at was this area here. This area here. Because you have a tap and a rejection, and then we start to move, and then these candles here are all starting to leave that area to continue up. So it looks like this now is going to continue right into here. And then what that finishes is the alien triangle that I like to draw, the alien triangle ship. So you have this, and this. So now you have your alien. That's your alien ship. So you finish that off. But if you're trading GJ, that's sort of what you'd sort of be looking at this point. The alien ship finishing with this, touching this area over here and coming into this support area.
It's fucking that support in 5 minutes. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens
It
today.
sells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let's go for 134,500 then. Where do you get the entry, Kivan?
134,745.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I mean, if you want to be really crazy, there's a huge, demand zone at 129. I mean, if we get to 129, that's absolutely insanity.
Oh,
I mean, we're not going to get there today, but you can see if you're into supply and demand, this is a good supply area right here, and then this is your demand area right here. So if you were to say, okay, we rejected here, we drove all the way up, and then we drove all the way down. That's, I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, but I mean, it does make a lot of sense because you also have this level over here. And so,
Downtown we go.
I mean, it's just from long-term thinking and the magic of GJ. I mean, it's not going to drop $5 in a day, but
Yeah.
No, at least 100 pips.
yeah.
Roger,
this-
why you didn't feel?
excuse me?
Oh, sorry, Ted. Why you didn't feel comfortable taking those cells off the 15 minutes?
These ones right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I entered at 134,680.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
As it was breaking
670.
right over here.
oh, okay.
it's
Everybody
too-
eating low key.
Yeah, but it's too risky.
Yeah, we didn't want to say it because there's so shitty entrances.
Yeah, it's really risky because I mean it's falling down and you're like
It's like a hot butter knife. You just
yeah,
trying to
like
pick
will
it
it
up.
retrace or will it continue down? So
Yeah.
like at the same time, don't want to give like
to
like
the
these-
gulag, right?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a pretty standard thing if you think about it, right? Look at the hourly candle. The hourly pulled back. It's doing the exact same thing that it did yesterday. Like the all week, every 8 o'clock candle has always ripped down. Like if you go back yesterday, you go back on Tuesday, every 8 a.m. candle has ripped down. You've had a bit of a pullback on the last 15-minute candle at 7:45 and 8 a.m. it's always pulled down. I mean, you can go back to yesterday's stream. The exact same thing happened at the exact same time.
Right.
Do you think it makes more sense to be taking breaks of bullish lows or just impulse entries in the first few minutes of an hour, which is typically frowned upon, but if it's during open, it makes a little bit more sense?
I'll answer first. The only concern that I have is your targets, right? So looking at GJ, for example, on the hourly, my target would have been the bottom of that wick, to be honest. So what I would have done is at 8 a.m. I would have looked to have a wick fill with momentum, saying that there's going to potentially be spillover because of the length of the candle on the last hourly and the fact that we're looking long term. I would have said, okay, I could potentially do a wick fill and get, at this point, I would have gotten like 10 pips basically off of that just push in the first 5 minutes of that hourly candle. The reason why I stray against telling people to do stuff like this is because they don't know how to control themselves. And they assume that it's going to work every single time, and they don't like closing trades. And the other thing is, if GJ ripsaws back, they think that they can just keep holding it. So that's sort of the issue that I have. Ideally, your trade for GJ would have been this area here, tapped up here, and then let it continue down, right? This here is hard to trade. Like this, to me, I can't take a trade there. But if I look on the hour and I say, okay, I want to fill the wick, then my wick gets filled right away at that point. Or I could easily say I want to break below here. That's a little bit tricky. You're putting your stop at this point over here to let it break below, and then you're saying, okay, we're going right down to 134, like whatever it is, 100. But the issue becomes your hourly candle doesn't have an upper wick, so you're playing essentially with fire just on the basis that everybody's just going to keep watching this drop, and the market's just going to accept the fact that there's no retest at that point. It's a high risk trade, but when you've seen it happen 3 days in a row, chances are it'll happen on the fourth day. This is the reason why you would watch one pair during your session and really understand its movements. That's the reason why Kavan and Mac and Kerwin and all those guys got into that trade, because they know right away what the probabilities are with it. But if you tell a brand new trader to do that, they assume that that's something you do normally and that that's something that you're going to do every single time, and they're going to get burned, and then they're going to complain that, you know, that's not trading. And it's like, no, you're calling an audible on your playbook because you see what's happening in the market and you're taking advantage of that.
Right. It might not be the prettiest entry, but
Right.
You know,
But I
you-
mean,
you know,
that's what it is, right? I mean, there's instances where you have to adjust, you know, a tiny bit. And the hardest thing, and Raj is exactly right when he says it, he's like, if I tell everybody my entries and I tell everybody my trades, they're going to look at those ideas as gospel. And they're going to say, okay, well, Raja took a trade here and I see the exact same thing and I'm taking a trade here. But it's not the same thing, because we just didn't have a 60 pip drop like, you know, the time before. There wasn't a 60 pip drop, so we don't have that momentum. Where here, you saw that there's been a momentum because we've had a huge drop. So now we can take advantage of that. And there's variables like that. It's applying the science behind trading and saying, okay, chances are we're going to continue, where, you know, maybe there wasn't a 60 pip drop yesterday, so now do I apply the same principles? Probably not. But as you get more seasoned, you can tell, okay, yeah, this is probably going to continue through 8 a.m. because of the fact that we have so much momentum from 7 a.m. So it's going to pull hard all the way down.
Yeah, well said. Like, you know, I
Yep.
mean, that was pretty well said. Like, I saw, like, at the end of the day, like, I saw the experience. Like, I'm sure Mac now, he also now sees the same things. Because,
Wait, what was that a joke?
no.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man,
God.
that's
No,
for
man.
real, brother.
What the
thank you.
Yeah, man. Like,
Yeah,
wow, bro. Like, is that what you think of us, man?
man. For
No, I'm
real,
just-
Mac.
I was just messing with you.
Oh, man. Coming back
Sound
to
like-
the good luck, Mac. Come
Oh
on.
my God. What did I do now? What did I do now?
Sound like he's on Mac D again.
He gave you trauma from all the roasting.
Yeah,
I know.
I got PTSD.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you look at this trade on the hourly, you would have started at 134.989, and you would have gone down to like 760, right? So you would have gone down from 134.900 to 134.760. That's something, as a new trader, you would take that trade and then you would close. When I was building my trading account, those are the trades I'd be looking for, like the 10 pips and out, because essentially you had no drawdown at that point. So you didn't have a one-to-one. And this is something that people have to get used to, is there's going to be a point where you don't have a drawdown. So if you get 1-2 or 1-3, that's a very good trade because you didn't have any drawdown. And people don't they don't analyze their trades correctly, and then they get all flustered, right? Because, you know, you say, okay, well, I want 10 pips with a 10 pip stop, and it's like, okay, so that's 1-to-1. But in this instance, the trade was a 1-to-10, right? And there was no drawdown there, so you were fine. But the problem is people don't recognize that, and what they do is they try and keep holding the trade longer, and it's like, well, no, if your trading plan says you have a risk to reward of 1-to-3, or, you know, 1-to-5, or whatever it's going to be, and you hit that with the fact that you had no drawdown, your take profit is 5 pips. Like, you have to get used to that idea that if you were trading 1 pip drawdown and, you know, 5 pip win, when you have no drawdown, that's a clear win. You have to close your trade. And yeah, it sucks because now if this continues to go all the way down, you've missed out on like 40 pips. But when you're building your trading account, you can't go on, well, I wish I would have held my trade. You have to go on, well, what am I certain that I'm going to get? And when you keep doing that, that's how you build your trading account. It's not by trying to hold trades forever and running them into the ground and having these massive pip games. It's where are the best opportunities for me to get wins with the least amount of pressure or resistance. And I have to do that over and over and over again. And yeah, if you have $100 account or a $500 account, it's going to take a while. It's going to take 1, 2, 3 years for you to build. But you know what? Every day you're going to come to the charts, you find that 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 pip reward trade, you're done. Like you had a huge gain with really no risk. You have to get used to putting yourself in that mindset. Similar to if you go play poker and the first hand you sit down and you say to yourself, okay, this poker session, I'm looking to double my money. And the first hand, you flop a set of aces and you got 3 guys betting into you. Yeah, you got to throw all your money in the middle. You have the best possible hand at that point. And then you win, you double your money within one hand. You don't sit there and say to yourself, well, now I can afford to play a little bit longer. It's like, no, if I'm building my bankroll, I have to leave. Yeah, you play a couple of hands and then you get up. You're like, well, that was it. My session was 5 minutes today. The problem is when you stay there longer, mathematically speaking, you'll probably lose a lot more at that point. It's the same thing with trading. The longer you are in the markets, the more chance you have to lose. Or the more trades you take, you're gonna lose. The fact remains is a lot of people are trading for the wrong reasons. They're trading because they want money, but they don't understand the fact that money takes time to build. And if you're trading for passion, you would realize you're like, man, that's great. I had a great trade, great risk to reward. I can come back and do that again tomorrow and compound that and keep moving up small lot sizes. You go from 0.01 to 0.03 to 0.05 to 0.1 to 0.15 to 0.25. Like you keep growing that way, but people don't want to do that. They don't want to take that time because it's not fun. Trading's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a grind. You grind so that you get to a point where you can open up a single lot trade or a 10 lot trade, make $1,000 in 5 minutes and call it a day. That $1,000 in 5 minutes has come from 2-3 years of grinding your ass off, making 50 cents a day, $1 a day, $5 a day. Like you have to think about this long term. The reason why Raja sits here and makes 100,000 in a month, 50,000 in a month is because there was months where he was making $500. Like you have to look at that long term play, and if you can't see that, you're trading for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Don't look at the fact that you're making $1 today or $5 today. Look at the fact that once you reach in a certain size of your account, you're going to be making 500, 5,000 in a day. Like you have to think that logic. Clear your mind. Put yourself in a position to win. You have $1,000 week. You're excited. Well, yeah, that $1,000 week can easily be $100,000 week once you get up to the levels that you need to get up to, because you're doing the same thing over and over again. Especially most of you guys are in your 20s, man, stay at home, live at home if you have to, grind. I can show you so many poker stories of all these guys that played online poker that grinded, 21, 22 years old, grinded 5-cent tables, making like $50 in a week, $100 in a week. And then, now they're making millions in a day. Like, it's the exact same scenario. Put the effort in, put the time in, you get the reward later on down the road. And you'll look back at your journey and you'll be like, man, look, I used to grind out, 10-cent lots. I used to grind out 25-cent lots. Now I'm grinding, 15 lots, 20 lots. Like it comes. Don't limit yourself. A lot of people have limiting beliefs. Oh, well, I don't think I'll be able to make that kind of money. Why not? If you're putting in 2-3 hours a day on the charts, you don't think you deserve to be a millionaire? Of course you do. Don't limit yourself in that thinking that, well, it's not going to be me because I'm not smart. I didn't go to school. I dropped out. I did this. Like, don't put yourself in that position. Work at it and get to where you need to be.
Yeah, I think later on, like it also feels good. You're like, yeah, you know what, man? One time, this is what I used to do, and this is what I'm doing now. Like it just feels good. Like I did this for a long time, and now look at me. You know, back in the day, I had the Kenwood phone, and now I got two phones. See how things change? I got two phones.
I got 2 phones.
Yeah, but it's true. It's just, you know, I had the same ideas. Like I grew through this as well as a trader, and you know, you doubt yourself on a day. You know, you feel bad for yourself because you take a loss. You know, you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, and you know, you punish yourself by, you know, having bad trades or over trading because deep down inside you're not ready. You're not ready to accept what the work you've been putting in. You don't think this is real. I can tell you right now, 90% of the gulag is sitting there. They don't believe that this is real. They don't believe it can happen for them because they're sitting in a shitty apartment, a stupid bedroom. You know, they're sitting in their living room. They're at their parents' house. They have no money. There's so many factors that are feeding into their mind right now. Well, I only have a $500 account. I got to go to work later. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it's like people think that they don't deserve what they're doing. Like they don't think it can be them, right? It's almost like you're trading to play the lottery. Like, you know, if you win and you actually get there, you're like, wow, you know, I won the lottery, right? People win the lottery and they're so surprised. You have the same emotion to trading. It's like when you win, you're surprised. It's like, oh wow, like this actually worked, and you know, like, oh, you know, there's a chance I'll make it. It's like that's not how you should feel when you're trading. You should be like, yeah, I knew that was going to work, or why didn't that work? Not, oh, I was surprised that we dropped that much. It's like, no, don't be surprised. Expect it. Like start quantifying things in your life and start expecting good things to happen to yourself because you're putting in the work. I mean, you figure there's what, 3,000 people sitting here right now. You guys are all up in all different time zones. Some of you are late at night, some of it's early morning. Like, what, you think that this is free? You think that your time is free? Your time is worth nothing? You're putting in the time. Don't discount the work that you're putting in to get to where you need to be, and don't be surprised when you get there, and don't think you don't deserve to get what you need. The reason why people blow their accounts when they run their account up from 5,000 to 20,000 or 5,000 to 100,000 is because they don't believe that they're deserving of that money. Oh, well, I made 100,000. You know, like this is really weird for me. My job only pays me 30,000 in a year. Good. You don't need that job anymore. You're welcome to the elite. Welcome to society where life is good for you. Like, get used to that. Like, get used to the good life. Don't keep putting yourself down because you live in a crappy house, you have crappy parents, you have a crappy brother, you know, your life's crap. Like that doesn't define you. Like, you have to stop with these attitudes. People message me all the time, well, you know, like, you know, I'm so surprised that I made $10,000 this month. It's like, why are you surprised? How many hours of the in the month did you put in? Well, yeah, you know, I worked every day. Well, yeah, exactly. Take that money. Next month, make 100,000. Next month, make 1,000,000. Like, do that, and don't turn around and think, well, you know, like there's only 3 people I know that can make millions of dollars. It doesn't make a difference how many people you know. You are your own person. Maybe you make even more than that. Like, you have to really, really change your outlook and your mindset, and you have to stop saying, why not me? And you have to start saying, it's gonna be me. Like, just get used to that. Wake up in the morning and just start, you know, kicking the bed sheets off your bed and going like, screw you, bed, I'm ready to go. Like, don't hide under them. Like, it's just a silly attitude to have, especially when you're in your 20s. Man, you got your whole life ahead of you. You screw up a couple of times in your 20s, you'll recover. Screw up a couple of times in your 50s or your 40s, yeah, you got issues. Like, think about it that way.
And another thing is that we love to put obstacles in front of us for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unnecessary obstacles.
Yeah.
It's just really weird. Like, I just see it a lot with younger people. It's like they don't feel that they're deserving of things, and it's like, of course you are. Put in the work and take out what you need. Yeah, so what? Your friends aren't making 10, 15,000 a month because you are. Who gives a crap about what your friends are doing? It's your life at the end of the day. You're the one that's doing it.
Oh. Let me a sec.
And you know what was happening?
Vibing.
Like for the gulag, like while Ted was speaking, there was inspirational music running in the background.
Oh,
Oh,
So Ted was going on, and there was like inspirational music in the background. And yeah, it was pretty amazing.
I didn't really want to do that, but it's just, I don't know. I think sometimes people just want, like, they want to hear somebody else tell them that they can do it. And I guess sometimes, we're very hard on people here. So, I decided to be a little bit nicer this morning and give people a little bit of a push. But now, like, you're going to have a whole bunch of people running around their neighborhood screaming, going, like that Homer Simpson clip where he goes and kicks the vending machine. I want Ted to come to my birthday party.
birthday appearance.
Are you gonna have like a petting zoo?
I guess so. We got Sean over here. Sean, is that you?
Hey, how's
Hey,
it,
man.
guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
So great. Just during Uncle Ted's talk, man. It's just I wanted to share something with you guys. It's you lose money while you're trading. You lose a lot while you're trading. However, you need to keep to the same rules that you guys are teaching us, right? Saying that you can't let your losses run, leave your winners run. I was at a point where I lost a lot of money. However, it came to a point where I started following the teachings, and I'm at a good point at this point. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, nice. So there was no like set method or system or like what really changed?
No.
Like, what do you think that changed?
So from my side, it was a case of stopping to be greedy. When you look at your trades and you think it'll get to that point, might take profit, it'll get there. So I'm going to hold on to my trades. It'll get there.
Yeah.
You need to understand the market does not listen to you. The market works the way it works. You just need to be patient. You need to take your profits. You need to let your runners run. Your losses, cut them short.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, because at that point you start saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to close when it gets there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you get stuck.
Thanks, Roger.
Yo, where are you from? New Zealand?
No, South Africa.
South Africa, okay.
Yes,
Sean Rapizzi.
Yes.
I remember you. Okay, so.
Yes, yeah. You signed my magic keys.
Yeah. No, I forgot.
Thanks, Roger.
Yeah, I forgot.
Well, you probably know. I guess I always hate when I do this to people. Is like in South Africa, you have easy pips. Kobe.
No easy pips.
Yeah, he's out there teaching in South Africa.
Yes. I know him.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's that talking? Shane?
No, it's Sean.
Oh, Sean.
Yes.
Yeah, this is easy pips.
Oh.
Yeah. He's out there in South Africa doing work. Had a baby with his family. He's doing good for himself.
Man, before the virus, they were doing these in-person camps, boot camps. Amazing turnouts, like these right here, before the virus.
Before the virus.
For the virus, so many.
Carol Baskins.
Carol Baskins. 20.
She's actually doing pretty good on Dancing with the Stars.
I know, I saw that.
Carol
man.
Baskin?
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trending.
She
Yeah.
is
I know, but-
fucking rich, man. She took over that Joe's
Okay,
Joe's
she
tiger
killed
farm
her.
over there.
She killed her husband. For a fact, she Joe Excited would have been better at Dancing with the Stars.
No, Joe Exotic has a bum knee. He can't do it.
You will get a prosthetic. A Michael Jackson prosthetic.
Oh, boy.
When I saw that thing on Twitter, I couldn't believe it. When I sent you got the Twitter link, that
Yeah,
she was
She's-
about to jump into the Dancing with the Stars.
she's got balls, man. She's got balls.
Oh wow, look at that.
I don't know. There's something about it.
Dancing with the Stars debut.
I don't like her.
Oh, this would be amazing.
Imagine they play her song.
I think that's
Yeah,
for
she's
this
good at
is all
dancing.
for clout. You know that's
Oh,
all that's
100%.
happening.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
She's doing it for clout, man.
Big
Not even
time.
for the kittens.
Yeah, like literally people go like it's a combination of they run out of people to go on that show, and then the people who want to go on that show are looking for like that extra 15 minutes of fame
Mhm.
to revitalize their brand or whatever.
Yeah, you know the amount of memes that are gonna come up from this. But good for her, man. Good for her. Good job, Carol Baskin.
Hmm.
Gold basically came back in this range, didn't really break up.
Yeah, I think with gold, now what you're going to be doing is the weekly's rejected several times off of that 1970 area now, so that zone. The issue that I have is that weekly candle is not forming enough or giving us enough information to say that we're going to continue dropping. So I think you'll have to wait till next week to get a bit more information, and then hopefully what you're looking for is today's candle to stay bearish, tomorrow to get a little bit of a push up, maybe to into this zone at 1945, get a little bit of push up. So what I'm thinking right now on this daily chart is use this area now as your zone, right? So this was your original zone over here. We've now start to leave that zone because you can see the difference. These candles were still up in this zone over here. Now this candle is starting to now stay within this confine. So what I'm looking to see is if we do this and then we start to drop, then we're starting to leave that zone, and then you have this area and then ultimately this area as further confluence. The other item for that too to help is the US is trying to strengthen their dollar, which has been very weak for the last few months. So that's a good prediction that, you know what, we may have a further drop with the US, with gold at that point, just to recover. And then closer towards elections, if there's instability, this then shoots right back up again in November. So you might get that pullback, and if you look at the weekly and the monthly candles, you might get a pullback down to like the 1907 range, and then a drive back up potentially in November, which would make sense because we have our September candle, the next October candle, and the monthly may be bearish, have a rejection, and then November candle starts off bullish and drives right back up into that zone at 2000s again. So you just have to keep that in mind when it comes to trading gold, the anticipation of what is. But to be honest, it's very difficult to trade gold. I tried to look at it during FOMC. I had better opportunities with GJ. I haven't really touched gold this week. I've had 2 trades with gold. It's just been very, very tough to trade that range. It whips up and down too fast, to be honest, and it hasn't really.
Introducing the newest addition to cannabis, the Tokyo Smoke Luma Vape. To know it is to feel it, and to feel it is to know it from the inside.
Oh. The little advertisement for cannabis. Imagine Raja Banks on Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, I think I'd do pretty good. I used to dance at weddings and that. Weddings and that. Used to do pretty good, mate, innit, mate. What does it mean when a candle closes with no top or bottom wick? It means there's no range. So if you look on the 15-minute, see this candle closed like a blob, you know? This candle closed like a blob. This one is retracing. So yeah, I mean, if you do retrace, I'm expecting it to come up over here to form like a resistance to continue down. Or even if this candle closes with the wick, yeah, even if it closes with the wick, like let's say till here, I think could be a nice move up here as well. So we'll see what happens. I think that's going to be the trade. Yeah, we'll see what happens. How do you even set targets for these down moves? You can't. You just look at where price can come down to. So you know, so if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, we look left. We're like, okay, so the price is falling down. Price basically fell from 135,600 down towards 135, you know, 100. So you're like, okay, that's where it can come down to. You're like, okay, perfect, we come down here. Now, if we break below here, now you look to see that, okay, if we're breaking below here, where can we come down to next? Maybe down towards 134, you know, 400, or even down to this area right over here, you know. So if we break this area, then we know, okay, we can come down to 134, 400, and then eventually coming down towards 134, 100. So that's how you set your targets. But how are we going to get there? Will it be just one straight move, or will it be like combination of lower lows and lower highs? That's something we don't know. You know, so that's why, like, you know, we're waiting for. So maybe what can happen is that price comes down, creates a support, moves up, creates like a resistance here, essentially, and making like a lower low, like, you know, from a structure perspective, and then continue down to retest the low. So that could have been an opportunity to make some money where we form like a resistance and price comes down. Because man, imagine, like, this is so fascinating. I don't know why people don't understand this. Every candle that's being moved, let's take a look on the 5-minute. Actually, you know what? Forget the 5-minute. Let's take a look at the 1 minute here. Where is the 1 minute time frame? Right here, 1 minute. So let's take a look at the 1 minute. Every 1 minute candle moved is billions of dollars moving at this point, right? Billions of dollars moving at this point. So if you can just guess where the next 30-minute candle is going to go, man, I think it's going to be very easy for you to make money. Because if, let's say, price comes up and, you know, we form bullish candle, bullish candle, bullish candle, and then when you see a bearish candle forming on a 30-minute time frame, you know there's a high probability that the next 30-minute candle is going to go bearish. So don't you think that's going to be a really, really good point to make some money? You know, I think that's a wonderful idea. You know, so all I gotta do is just wait for that. You know, and now if that candle moves in 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, that's something we don't know. But what we do know is that there's a higher probability for price to come down to retest the low if we get that resistance formed. You know, and that's just one thing I look for every day. I wait for every day. That's what I live for. I mean, if I see that happen, I know I'm making money. Or I know that there's a high probability that I'm going to make money from that. You know, let's put it that way. High probability. But when it comes down to risk, that's something you have to really, really understand, like how you're really managing risk. Because what if price goes in drawdown? How are you managing risk? Where are you mitigating risk? Are you using dynamic risk, static risk? Are you closing partial positions? So that's something you really have to be good at. Managing risk. Yeah. Jeez. Uncle Ted, did pound drop because of interest rate unchanged, or is it because BOE hinting to give negative rates? I think it's a combination of both. I think, first of all, it's a combination of the high time frame price action, where the weekly candle was bearish and we had this range to fill down towards, 134.900. I think, first of all, it's a combination of that. Secondly, for price to move that way and break a strong support, we needed some sort of a fundamental push. So then you start looking at the fundamentals, like, okay, you're right. So they're looking at negative rates. Also, they're slowly moving into the lockdown position. I call it the lockdown position, where the economy bends over. That's basically the lockdown position. Come on, economy, get back in that lockdown position. So that's how I think price is moving down. But mostly it's based on the price action here too. So we'll see if we can get that move up and a resistance forming for price to come down. Gold buys. Do any of you belong to signal groups? No.
We are the signals.
Yeah, we are the signals. Man, you can be your own signal. Trust me. You can be your own signal, but a whole lot of people need a whole lot of handouts. A whole lot of people need a whole lot of handouts. Yeah, we have to stop that mentality. We can be our own signals, man. Trust me. What do signal providers do? They look at 10 pairs. Now they're starting to look at 2 pairs or even 1 pair now, because now they've learned from the streams that, hey, you should only look at 1 pair. So now they're adjusting their whole structure. So that's what they do. They look at 1 pair and they aim to give you 1 signal a day. That's it. And even if you're following signals, you're taking your own dumb trades at the same time too, and you're losing. So man, trust me, as Ted said, things. Wait, hold on. I think I have a voice note. I don't think if I can. Oh, I can't find it because I changed phones and it removed my WhatsApp history. Yeah, I can't find that voice note. So it's basically a voice note which said that things take time. It just takes time. That's it. You just got to give it time. You got to give it time. 1 trade a day. Even if you focus on 1 trade a day on 1 pair, you're learning that pair. At the same time, you're learning to see how it moves in London sessions, New York sessions, Asian sessions. We say these things over and over again, because once you really start focusing on 1 pair on 1 session, you start to understand how it's going to move at, let's say, okay, for example, GJ, right? I've been looking at GJ for about 3 years now almost, and I know how it moves in pre-New York, New York Open, NYC Open. That's why, at sometimes when I'm done from the stream, I still understand how it's going to move at NYC Open or at London Close, because I've seen it happen for a very long time. But if someone was to ask me, hey Raja Bank, since you're so good, what do you think is going to happen at pre-London? Or what do you think is going to happen at London Open? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen at that time, because I haven't seen USDJPY behave at pre-London or London Open. I have no idea. I'll have to look at that for about a month or a month and a half to really understand what's happening. So it takes time. In that essence, it just takes time. For you to look for the same things over and over again. Maybe they may happen next week or maybe next month. Impulse entry if the next 30-minute candle broke the low of this 30-minute candle here. Yeah, so we'll have to wait for it to see how it closes, basically. We have Burner here. Man, Burner used to trade the most odd pair. What was that? I think it was AUD, not AUD USD. Yeah, Euro AUD. Euro AUD. Consistently. Like everyone would be trading like, GJ or gold, and Bernard would be on Euro AUD and just smashing the hell out of it. And be like, hey man, Euro AUD. Yeah. Because he understands that pair, like he really understands that pair on different sessions. So, it's a bless. If Raja and Uncle Ted were American, it wouldn't be the same stream. I think it would be the same stream. Can I have your thoughts on leveraging 40% of profits on a certain setup to grow account faster? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like you're leveraging 40% of your profits. I think that's a very good idea. It's not like you're leveraging your entire profits, but like a portion of your profits. Hey, if I make an account with Canadian address and pay money from a bank in Canada only to trade and then transfer in India, will it be okay and legal? Jesse Singh, first thing, I don't live in India. Second thing, how would I know that what would be legal in India, what would be illegal in India? What I do know is that Modi says that Forex is illegal in India. So here's what's going to happen. Even if you can open an account in Canada, and even if Modi finds out that you're trading in India, from an account from out, man, you're going to be in big trouble. You will be in big trouble. I'm telling you, man. So I think that's going to be a risk that you would want to take, so that's all on you. But I have no idea if something's legal or illegal there because I don't live there. Let's take a look here. Could you take a look at this trade idea? Let's take a look here. This is, if 30-minute candle closes bullish, I'll be looking for sells. To take a sell, next 30-minute candle needs to break below in the 30-minute candle. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. I think at the same time, if this 30-minute candle closes the way it's closing, a little bit bullish, I think there could be a probability it may come up a little bit to maybe do a retest in this range. And this is a pretty decent range. It's like 30 pip range. Yeah, this is 30 pip range. Let's take a look at, your JPY is reversing here. See, now this would be a classic fake out. If you get a candle closing back above the support, this would be a classic fake out on your JPY. Let's look at USD INR. So this is what you can trade in India. You can trade USD INR. This is the USD Indian rupee. So it's trending it.
Also the sterling, the pound against the rupee.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
GBP INR. Holy!
Wow, what a gap.
Wow. Yeah, so this is what the Indian government wants you to trade. This is what I'm saying, man. In Pakistan, if you're in Pakistan, you can trade anything in Pakistan. But as you walk 5 meters in India, this is what you can trade then. You can trade this garbage here. So difficult here. Look at the daily. I guess you can trade on the daily here. For price to continue down over here. But realistically, on the weekly, it's been in an uptrend. Man, you want good investment? This is good investment over here. USD PKR. This is a really good investment. Look at this. This is the weekly chart. Let's take a look at the monthly. Look at this monthly chart. Straight uptrend. We're at 166, and soon we're gonna tap on 200.
Hopefully this 30-minute it's just an engulfing candle to continue it down.
You know, I think if this closes bullish, we should continue up to do like a retest. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
True.
Take a look at Argentinian peso and US. Okay. USD and peso.
No, it's real. Real, I think.
Real? No, real is something else. Argentina. What's Argentinian peso? Colombian peso? Mexican peso, Chilean peso, Mexican peso, oh, Argentinian peso. Holy, this is just bullish.
Wow.
Oh, wow, man, crazy. This was, at one time, it was equal to the dollar. In 2000. In 2000, it was equal to the dollar, and then shit just hit the fan. There was a big spike over here. There was a huge liquidity grab on the weekly, came down, and then boom, $3. Damn, straight uptrend. Wow, man, crazy. Look at this. These candlesticks looks like they're in such an uptrend. It looks like Renko charts. You know how Renko charts are like this? It looks like a Renko chart. Shit, it's crazy. Why the Pakistani government is selling buffaloes to run the government then? Because they sell for a lot of money. You know how much a buffalo costs in Pakistan? Do people even think what they say things before? Man, it's gonna cost you like easy 15,000, 20,000, $20,000 buffalo, 50,000, 60,000. Yeah. Yes, sir. It's pretty expensive. Raja, I need help setting up magic keys for Mac using VirtualBox. Can you help, please? Yes. Since I don't own a Mac, my recommendation would be you can probably sell that MacBook and buy 2 Windows computers, man.
Holy.
Yeah, man.
With that. That's the best rebuttal in the world.
Sell that
to be
shit.
honest.
Like MacBooks.
That's the best rebuttal.
Like you want things.
I don't know what's the issue, man.
Because like here's the thing, right? Like if you have a MacBook, you cannot operate 50% of devices out there on a MacBook. You can't, because you got a MacBook. You know, so if you get a Windows computer, you can gift one to your wife or someone, whoever you like, and then keep the other one, and you can run whatever you want on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you know.
I run everything off my Windows computer.
Yes.
I mean, sorry, my
Mac.
Mac.
Oh man.
Magic keys work perfect on Mac, man.
What are you using there for magic keys on Mac?
Parallel.
Parallel.
Parallel. Yeah. Does Parallel comes with a cost? Like is there
Yeah,
cost?
it's 56 a year.
Oh, $50 a year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. Oh wow, look at this. Raja is right. I sold my MacBook a week ago, bought Windows Surface. And guys, listen, whoever's trying to think that they will get magic keys to get better at trading, trust me, you're not going to get better at trading. Your risk management is going to improve. Like that's the only thing that's going to get better, your risk management. It's going to become because like it's going to be really robust, you know, and efficient in quick time. Jaden is brushing his hair over there. Got nice silky hair. We got 4 minutes left here. Man. No trade today. I took one trade. I took one sell on GJ. It was right over here. I took it at like 134.740. It went in profits, came back and stopped me out at break even. Who's buying the new PS5? This guy right here. This guy. This guy's buying the PS5.
Yeah, I'm getting it for my son.
Yeah, man. PS5 is the way to go. Kevon, aren't we really good parents, man? Like, look, this guy is like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it for my son. And I'm like, yeah, I'm buying it for me and whoever's around me to play, you know? We're such cool grown-ups, you know? just buy whatever you want. You know, I remember when I was like in my 20s and like if I wanted to go buy something, I'd be like, man, I don't know, okay, now I gotta save for a couple of weeks or like something like this. But when you get into an age where you can just go and buy whatever you want, you just say, oh, okay, perfect. Like, you know, like video consoles and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a blessing, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing.
And the price point is not bad either.
How much is this PS5?
It's $499.
Oh, okay.
I think they have 2 versions from what I was looking up yesterday.
Oh, there we go. $629. It's sold out.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, it's already released? I thought it was released in November.
Yeah, it's I think these are pre-orders. Pre-orders. PlayStation 5 digital edition console. Yeah, this is the cheaper one. This is $500. Nice. Look at this. Wow, sold everywhere. Sold out. Holy, out of stock. And then you have a box, Xbox. What's this called? Xbox Series X? Yeah, Xbox Series X. Look at this junk, man. Who would buy Xbox? Look at that. That's
I don't understand. Why do you need a CD drive?
Yeah, exactly. No, to run my DVDs, man. What do you mean?
People still use DVDs?
Yeah, market fluidity DVDs.
Market fluidity.
You gotta run my DVDs.
You are about to start a big fight.
Yeah, but like seriously, man, like Xbox, I don't know. Like this is what my router looks like.
With the modem included.
So I should get the one with the disk drive, correct?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Take some more space.
That one too, the disk drive.
Okay, all right, thanks.
All right, what's this? Form the resistance. You're looking for cells. I think cells below this area would be better. Like, you know, as price is coming down here. Ooh, candle closed. Yeah, right over here. Cells below this area here would be much better. Because taking a sell now, you're placing a stop above the 15-minute candle right here, and you're expecting price to continue going bearish to like 134.400. Don't you think it's going to pull back? Well, you know, trend is bearish. Trend is bearish, and since trend is bearish, we're moving into NYC when there's volume, so it should continue moving bearish. But at the same time, I'm not executing a trade over here. No, I mean no trades. No trades at all. None. Because my whole problem is that there's this wick over here, so we'll need to break this, plus it's falling in the first, 2-3 minutes. Also the 4-hour candle has closed. And if we want 4-hour candle to drop, I think I think it needs to make like a top wick first before it drops. So that's why it could pull back. What's your advice on the next move at US30? US30, let's take a look here. Oh, US30 looks bearish over here. Looks like it can continue moving down. 30 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, 4 hours bearish. 4 hours is really good to be bearish. 4 hour looks like next 4 hour can continue down to fill this wick. Because you know this candle is broken below the lows over here and it can continue bearish. And if G just starts moving up, which is good because now it's making the low over here. And if it moves up, then later on maybe we can see like a resistance forming and price can continue down. Raja, come to India someday. We will be there to welcome you. Okay, perfect.
I think that's dangerous.
What are you doing?
Mag, what are you doing, man?
What happened?
Man, there was a point where his eyes were closed and his mouth was open.
No, bro.
Again, man.
No, dude. I just closed my eyes. I can't close my eyes for 1 second when I'm near you, bro. This guy. He wants to get me so bad.
Okay. Oh wow, this
Wow.
USD Argentinian is still going bullish over here.
Because of Messi.
Because why, man? Because Messi isn't spending money over there.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this chart. How do you trade this? This is just one pattern over again. Look at that. So many gaps. Impulsive buy above the 30-minute high? Probably not, because your stop is going to be pretty big at that point. I think the best thing would be to do over here, like, I mean, I'm going to wait for that as well till like London close after the stream, is if we form a resistance here for price to come back down. That's what I'm going to look at. GP CAD looks good to enter, question mark. I think you need to send a chart so that we can look at that. Let's take a look at
Yesterday.
GJ 15 minute. Coming down. Yeah, I don't think, because there was a support over there, so expecting support to break when it hasn't broken. Why do you call it NY Session Live when you guys head off as NY Opens? Because we leave you to it.
That's the way we do it.
No, when NY opens, because I think at this time I go have breakfast, and if I have breakfast at this time, then I'm going to be ready for the gym in like an hour, you know, because the food would have been digested and things would look good.
Yeah. You don't want to get there with a full stomach.
Yeah, you know when you get there after a meal, after an hour, and you just feel powerful? Man.
Yeah.
That's how I feel now every day. Every day when I go to the gym, I just feel powerful.
Yeah, you just give it like 30 minutes and then you drink your pre and you're not going to throw up or nothing. Just gonna go, oh.
I've actually never thrown up in the gym, man, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It's going to happen, bud. One day. Especially with
How do you know, Mac?
Especially with the C4 you take. Ugh. C4 is so sweet. I love it though. 2 scoops of that and you're flying.
Yeah, 2 scoops. That's why you're puking, bro. Like I take 1 scoop
they're
as they
little,
say. That's
they're
it.
little scoops.
Yeah, exactly. I just take 1 scoop. What it says on the bottle, I just do that, and then that's it.
The bottle lies.
Yeah, if you take 2 scoops, of course you're gonna. I mean.
No, it's that your tolerance gets it builds a lot on
Yeah.
C4.
See,
After like
that's
3 months.
3 months. Okay,
Yeah.
like you know what I do? I'm probably gonna take pre-workout for about like a month, and then I'm gonna take like 2 weeks off or like 3 weeks off. Ooh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, look at that, man. This thing is just dropping. Gold is pumping down over here. Looks like it's gonna keep pumping down till 1932. 20 more pips. GG, also if this support is formed, I think we can have a retracement coming up and then maybe a resistance forming.
And then drop.
Yeah, and then drop. I want to learn an Urdu language. Please teach me. Well, I guess if you can write it in English, you can learn it in English, right? Come on, man. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna head off over here.
Yeah, me too.
I have some things to do.
Hey, Raja.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. Bye. Enjoy
Take care.
Yes, take care, take care.
Shukriya.
I took 1 trade and it got stopped out at break even. It was a 15 lot and I lost like $150 today.
Wow, that's super nice.
Yeah. I opened it, it started running. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make money today. And then it stopped me at break even.
I still can't believe we couldn't catch that drop. That's crazy. Damn. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Tomorrow.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right. Take care, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Shukriya.
I don't know what you're saying, Darwin, but Shangri-La.
Shukriya.
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 Shangri-La.